Well, and welcome back once again. We're going to do the second half of the video on my record keeping now. So welcome back to Ecocentric and enjoy the video. In this section we're going to go back to this sunny plot. I started recording way back in 2018. The agreed upon rules for statistical science is that you need at least 30 samples for a reasonable analysis. That is why they base climate on the 30-year average. A day only comes once per year, so in order to get 30 samples, of course, you need 30 years. I only have 5. But it really don't make a lot of difference. Now, back in 2018, when I started, I did put in my degrees base 5, degrees base 10. I didn't have a humidity or a rain gauge or anything like that. So I just have the temperatures and the calculated growing degree units for 2018. It is important for you to keep records for 3 or 4 reasons. But they all really is because of our memory. Our memory sucks. You can't rely on your memory to give you reliable recollection of what happened last year. Unless you have it written down, you can't say August was hotter this year than last year or cooler or whatever. Did you have more rain, less rain? You don't know. Unless you have it written down right there. Like I said, you can go, if you don't have it written down now, you can go to your government website, and that's your closest weather office. So for me, if I went on, I'd be getting Gander. I could also get Buckens, which is even worse. But Gander, it's better than nothing. I can get some kind of a relatively in the relative area of what my area actually got. But now, since I'm recording on here, I'm finding out quite often what Gander gets and what we get is quite a lot different. So if you want to analyze right away, don't worry. Like I say, one thing you can do is just do a search and for your hardiness zone and your first and last frost dates and just go with that. Or if you want, you can download the data from your government website and actually put it in several files like I'm going to show you here now, and then do an analysis if you think you can do that. So this was the file for 2018. I had shady plot, sunny plot. I tried the shady plot, but the monitors couldn't send the signal through the shed to here, so I couldn't do that with the wireless thermometer, and I don't have a manual Maximian thermometer, so I was out of luck on that. I don't know what the sun trap is. East cold frame, that's what I'm calling south wall right now. West cold frame, that's what I'm calling the small cold frame right now. Sunroom, and I tried the bay window for a while. That was back in 2018. We'll go down to the bottom of the sunny plot for 2018 and just show our Maximian, our finals. Now I can bring up 2019. In 2019, I started taking down the precipitation records from Gander. That wasn't our precipitation records, but like I said, better than nothing. Just wanted a kind of a idea of how much precipitation we were getting. Weekly precipitation, total precipitation, growing degrees above 0, above 5, above 10, and then the finals. So I put that down there, squeeze it off as small as I can, overlay them. They're all sunny plot anyway, what I'm showing you here. So that was 2019. We'll go for 2020. In 2020, I started with the relative humidity, and of course precipitation though was still from Gander. In 2021, basically the same as 2020. But down on the bottom, I've changed this now. I've got, yeah, I didn't make note of that for 2020 and 2021. That's when I changed it. Sun room, cold room, grow room, south wall, small cold frame. And I've got the perennials, annuals, and herbs. 2020, I just recorded when I harvested something, I recorded the weight. There's no dates. It's just a list of weights of that, and it's put here. It's not in alphabetical order or anything. And then I calculated up the values, the total weights and values down the bottom. That was in 2020. In 2021, that's when I put them in by day. And I put them in by alphabetical order. Okay, that's 2021. And now 2022 that I just showed you. So remember, what I'm saying is our memories suck, okay? So we don't know what we got the year previous. And I was having problems with carrots germinating and with the amount of potatoes I was getting. Why is it such hard to germinate them? Why is it so hard to get the potatoes to grow the way I want them to, as good as I want them to grow? So back in 2019, I got a good potato harvest. Now take this, precipitation, the total for the year was 1042. In June, total precipitation was 103 millimeters. 104 in July. Okay, August is usually, we got August and February as our driest months, normally. And then back up in September, right? We went to 2020, and look at the precipitation, 888.2. In June, it was 99. In July, 54, as opposed to 104. In August, when the temperature was hot and things were having trouble to grow anyway, we got extra precipitation. And in September, it dropped down again. So the precipitation dropped down, and we're going through 2021. And once again, in June, we only got 30 millimeters of rain. In July, only 46. In August, only 52. But I realized this going through July, and I said, yo, I've got to water this garden every day. It's not normal for us to have to water a garden. Now, if I wasn't keeping records, I wouldn't know. I'd be still standing there thinking, what in the hell is going on? This ain't normal. But because I was keeping records, I could look back through my record and go, aha, that's why. And I set up the sprinkler to water that garden almost every day, and I got it much better. That was during the last of July something, I think I set it up. And I got a much better harvest last year in 2021 than I did in 2020 for my annual gardens, because I was keeping record and I was able to realize. Now, where's 2022? We're in 2022. We're back up a little bit, but we're still low. I was watering pretty much every day. Right, July still only 43. We've got our normal in September, and we've got 2/3 of the normal in June. So I had to water, and that's also with the weekly, right? If you go, it's no good to have all your precipitation in 1 week, and then the other 3 weeks of the month you got nothing. So I'm recording the weekly precipitation. If I don't get the right precipitation in 1 week, if I'm going through and it's more of a normal year, and like I say, we're getting plenty of precipitation, and then we get a dry spell, I can still keep high on it. And if I don't get the precipitation in 1 week, then I got to start watering after 1 week. So that's one benefit I got out of keeping records for the last 5 years already. Our normal precipitation, if you go onto the government website, is somewhere around 1043, 1053 something. I don't remember the number. This year, we did get, in the off seasons, we got some precipitation, so we got getting up close to the normal yearly precipitation, but once again, June, July was drier than normal, and May was, there could have been a little bit more precipitation than that. Now, depending on which side of the coin you sit on, our memories are biased. They're extremely biased. And let's take the old global warming climate change thing, for instance. If you think that's true, your memory is going to hold on to every event that gives credence to that theory. Every extra hot day, every extreme weather event, you're going to remember it. You're not going to remember so much the cold events or the cold stretches. If you think this climate change thing is a bunch of crap and it's just people making stuff up for money, you're going to remember every event that disagrees with the climate change paradigm. And so to get on and say it's happening or it's not happening and argue with it, if you haven't been keeping records, you don't know. Now once again, the data is out there. You can go to your government website and several other websites. There's places where you can download the data for the last 30 years. And many places for longer than that. When I was in university, the thing come up about the last frost is usually around the full moon, closest to your average last frost date. The professor apparently didn't hear about that, so he gave it to me as an assignment to check out. And I went to quite a few sites around the world where I could get both the last frost date and the full moon date. And because the data was written down, all recorded, over 50, 60 years, I could put that into a statistical analysis and find out that the full moon really had nothing to do with your last frost date. There was no statistical correlation between the full moon and last frost date. The problem is, when you get your last frost, it's usually a clear night. You'll remember a full moon. You'll remember the last frost. And then you link the two together when you get a last frost on a full moon. But normally, the last frost is not on the full moon. Coming back to this, so is the temperature warming? Now, I only got 5 years, so this is not something I don't have enough to do a statistical analysis. No, like I said, you need 30 years of data. But I'm starting, and I can go for each month. January, I got a mean of, in 2018, I had a mean of minus 4.62. In 2019, it was minus 6.2. So we're lower. In 2020, it was minus 7.2, lower again. In 2021, it was minus 1.8. So now we jump way back up, even above 2018. And in 2022, it's dropped down again to minus 4.34. It does that, goes up and down. February we had average of minus 5.38, minus 7.1, minus 4.6, minus 3.9, minus 5.1, following the same curve. March, minus 1.8, minus 1.6, going up, minus 2.6, went back down, 0, and minus 1.07. April, see, we can go for each one. 1.57, 3.6, 3.2, 4.9, 3.68. I can go through that with the entire years. Let's try July now, because this is the hottest month. 18.92, 7.1, 17.3, 17.7, 17.1, 18.75. 2018 was our hottest July, and then last July coming just under it. Now as for August, at 2103, that was our hottest August. If we're going by yearly average, we've got 4.65 over the entire year in 2018, 5.58 in 2019, 6.75 in 2020, 7.32 in 2021, and 7.06 last year. So it was going up, up, and up. The winters were getting milder, and it's mostly the off season was getting milder rather than the summer getting all that much hotter. But at any rate, over the entire year, it was going up and up. For 4 years it went up, and then it has dropped down a little bit below last year. Now we've got the 7.32 last year and 7.06 this year, and so I'll follow that and see how far it goes down now. Brainstorm Acres, they've been keeping track for many years, so they've got a lot more data for their area than I have for mine. However, 5 years, I can start to look at, okay, that's what the temperatures are now, and I'll use that for my planning now and just keep watching it year by year. If it changes, then I'll change my planning. If it doesn't, then I just go with what I got. So that's why we should keep records, and I've been talking quite a while now, so and it looks like the battery's running low in the camera. So I'm going to end this video. I hope you found it interesting and got something out of it. Please hit the like button and leave a comment. If you think I should have gone more into depth in one thing and less into depth, or less into depth in another thing, leave it in the comments. I don't consider myself the best presenter, so any help from you on what I should do more of or less of would be welcome. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.